Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, where we discuss real estate in the Phoenix area. In today's episode, we're actually going to be doing a book review. We'll be finishing up with the numbers for the week at the end of this, but I really wanted to get the book review out of the way first because I read a lot of books. At any one time, I usually have 3 to 4 books that I'm reading. One's going to be a professional book. It's going to have something to do with real estate or something to help me grow real estate. One's going to be some sort of personal, growth. Tim Ferriss, stuff along those, stuff to work on myself. And then the third one's usually just a complete throwaway brain turn off so you can go to sleep. I just started Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire again, even though I know the series never gets finished, and at the end the author dies with his work uncompleted. I know that's going to happen, but here I go, the fool's finger waggling back towards the fire. So I am indeed Martin's bitch, apparently. But about a week or so ago, that was about 2 weeks ago, in my crawling around the internet, I found a book that touched on my favorite subject, real estate. And it had the hook of the title just caught me. All right. This book is called The Competent Broker. I'm not sure if you can see that on the screen, but it's a competent broker seeking competence and integrity in the real estate business. It's written by a gentleman by the name of Rueben Moore, who I later discovered is a broker, and he's out in North Carolina. But he wrote this book, and I picked it up and went through it. And I wind up writing a review for this, which I'm going to give to you. I have the review actually written out, but I'm going to read it to you and paraphrase and do my own little thing that I do on this video. But it's written by a broker who actually knows how to write, right? And that's really rare. When you see some of the emails that come across from the agents on the other side, and it's like you either get the big wall of text because they don't understand this newfangled thing called a paragraph, or they're just thoughts are all over the time. You can tell that Mr. Moore here has experience writing. I don't know what he has done before, but he really knows how to string some words together. And he talks and he says things that some of us only whisper about in the break room, or we might discuss over hushed tones down at the bar, because he says things that just is not said in genteel real estate company. And I love that about him. By the end of the introduction, just the introduction, I realized that Mr. Moore is like a kindred soul, and he sees the same problems in real estate as I do, and he has the same concerns. And we differ a bit on some of the solutions to some of these concerns, but he's at least putting them out there so they can be addressed. Right? This is a conversation that needs to be happening in this industry, and he's having the conversation, and probably at no small risk to him. He actually calls it out and lampshades it in the book, but we got this thing in the National Association of Realtors called the Article 15. And the Article 15 is thou shalt not talk crap about realtors. All right. If I know an agent out there is shady, if I know an agent out there is not a good person to work with, if I think they are incompetent, I can't say anything about that. All right? Because Article 15 means I can't say that, because then they will take me up in front of the board and I'm standing tall in front of the man with an Article 15, because they're going to get me for saying something bad about a fellow realtor and thus bringing all the other realtors down. I'm not going to comment any further on my positions of what I believe about Article 15, because I too do not want to wind up with an Article 15 conversation for having an Article 15 conversation. So, but Mr. Moore here, getting back to the book and off my editorial, he really does dish the dirt on all the dirty little secrets, right? Open houses, who they're really for, not for the seller. Little spoiler alert there. Marketing, the different types of marketing, how agents, the effects of marketing and what it really does for the agent, not so much for the seller again. He talks a lot about the iBuyers. All right, these are these new entities that are coming into the market who are disrupting the sales and process. All right. Agents who don't keep up with the latest tech, agents who still do not know how to put a contract into a PDF form so they can email it. The ones who are still asking, hey, what's your fax number? And I guess 20, 30 years ago, there would have been a problem with agents who did not know how to use a fax machine. 20 years down the road from here now, there's going to be agents who do not know how to use a virtual reality, Bitcoin suite or whatever the new technology is. And he really does call out agents who do not realize you have to stay up with the new technology no matter what it is. I mean, just in the 10, 11 years or so that I've been doing this, I'm doing videos now, right? 10 years ago, everybody thought a website was a big thing. So, and he also touches another subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the concept of dual agency. And I'm going to wind up doing an entire video on what dual agency is. But he explains to you in the book why asking the agent you're about to work with what their position on dual agency is really should be a make or break for whether or not you want to work with that person. So, as he's writing this, right, his tones of his book is not so much. All right, so there's this book that came out a couple of years ago. It was supposed to be written by a former CIA agent. It was called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. All right, the guy's name was John Perkins, and it was supposed to tell you about all the dirty little secrets that the CIA was doing back down in Central America, overthrowing companies, making the world safe for the United Fruit Company. It doesn't read like that. It doesn't really feel like that. It actually reminds me a lot more of a great little essay called War is a Racket by a United States Marine by the name of Smedley Butler. And any Marines out there in the audience just instantly knows who I'm talking about. And he wrote this short book essay, gave it as a speech, all right, in 1935. And he was very, very much an isolationist. He believed in the mission of the Marine Corps, but he did not believe in the mission of the Marine Corps as the military getting involved in far-off countries and getting involved in things that, would, to paraphrase a great historical line, would not be worth the blood of one Marine grenadier. So this reads like that, all right? Confessions of a CIA Hitman sort of reads as like one of those, this is all the bad things I did, but aren't I cool for being in this? This is much more one of those, the guy, the grunt who's actually gone through the mud and stuff like that, coming and say, okay, and this is the bad things that are going on. These are the things that need to be addressed. So for a recommendation, if you are an agent, get this book. I'll put the links in the show notes below. Read it to learn how you should be operating. You should be constantly second-guessing yourself, the way you do your business. Could you be doing it better? Could you be doing it more ethically? Which is why we have professional readings and why we keep up on our professional news. And if you're a designated broker or the owner of a brokerage, you need to read this book to see how your people should be running your brokerage, all right, and how you should be leading your people, all right? Are your agents competent? Or are your agents just really, really good at marketing and have a flashy smile? All right. The competent ones aren't going to cost you money when your brokerage gets sued because your agent that you were supposed to be supervising was incompetent. And if you're a consumer, if you're a consumer, and when I mean a consumer, is like if you are owning or planning on owning a house, you want to read this one just to pick up the best person, how to pick the best agents, because this is the biggest financial purchase of your life, right? And you don't just want to grab somebody off the street who had a really good headshot on their business card, or your third cousin twice removed who just got her license. You want to know how agents think, and you want an agent who thinks like Mr. Moore here. So if for some reason you guys wind up needing a broker out there in the Research Triangle Park District of North Carolina, I would call Rueben Moore. He's the broker for Bricks and Garden Real Estate out there. I will put the link to his website and blog in the links below. And this is a good book. All right, this is a book I hope to see start a conversation among real estate agents. This is a book that I would like to be able to take to Facebook and throw on one of the Facebook real estate pages where the agents get together and talk crap about their clients or the lack of inventory. Or how much the price of wine has gone up at Total Wine & More. This is the kind of book that I would want to see discussed on these forums. Unfortunately, the topics in this book, I'm not just talking the Article 15 stuff, but as soon as you start talking anything about commission structure and how commissions are made, the moderators are going to come down on you on top and just say, no, you can't talk about this thing's here because Sherman Antitrust Act and big long legalese story in the background why we don't actually get to talk amongst this about ourselves. But this is the book that's opening up the conversation, and this is the book that's going to hopefully get This is the book that's going to open up the conversation. This is the book that's going to help change the industry and make sure that the industry, and especially individual agents and brokerages, survive. There's a lot of real estate books out there. Right? You have The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, or The $1 Million Real Estate Agent, Gary Keller Williams. That's like the book they hand out if you join Keller Williams brokerage. It's like, here, this is how to run your brokerage. And it starts with, this is how you be an agent, and then work it all the way up through the team structure. There's another one, 7 Levels of Communication. All of these books that are out there, when they deal with real estate, they're all about getting sales, making sales, and making more money. It's all about the money. Sometimes you'll have specialized how to make money on YouTube, how to make money on Facebook. This is a guy who says how to make money by being competent. All right? And that's the kind of story we need to get going around out there. Thank you much for this part, and numbers in a second. And these are the weekly numbers for April the 11th. Today is April the 14th. Actives this morning was 4,086, which is down 82 from the week before. Our pendings rose by 161 to 2,138, and we had 2,163 closings last week, which was 510 less than the prior week. Under contracts with backups, so we're up to 1,374. That's up 167, and our offers with buyers' contingencies on the sales of their own houses rose 22 contracts to 92 total.